So I had a cell phone since I was a senior in high school, and that's been about 10 years now. Well, over 10 years. And ever since I had a cell phone, I use it as an alarm clock and slept next to it. Slept next to it, right next to my head. And this is a pattern that I feel is something that we should all break, no matter what age we are. A lot of us that are millennials, like myself and on, have had a cell phone with them since they were growing up. And with this being said, it's always been around them, so you become used to having this thing. This is like an attachment. If somebody doesn't have their cell phone, people are like flipping out. But using your cell phone as an alarm clock is something that I feel you shouldn't do, to an extent. And the reason why I'm saying this is because if you're sleeping with the alarm clock right next to you, one, you got that ringer right next to your face, right next to your ear, and it's boom, it's waking you up. And it's alerting you pretty loudly. And when you hear it, you kind of jolt a little bit. But then you turn to it and you hit the snooze button. And we all do that. You hit the snooze button, and now that you just been alerted and you woke up, because everybody wakes up when they hear that thing, the act of you going back to sleep or trying to go back to sleep is pointless. It's pointless because you have already been awakened. And by you going back to sleep, you're going to put your body into another sleep cycle. And putting your body into another sleep cycle actually takes an hour and a half to complete. It takes 90 minutes to complete a sleep cycle. So when you sleep those extra 5, 10, 15 minutes, you're actually making your body feel worse when you wake up. So getting this thing away from your body when you wake up, you're going to feel so much better. And sleep is something that we should all take to high priority. It's because we all know sleep is our rest, and our rest is what gets us going for the next day. And there's so many things that we could do to improve this. And one, just getting this thing away from us will help drastically. Now, I just bought an alarm clock. I bought an alarm clock about like a week and a half ago because I want to stop using this. But I didn't just, I bought it, I ordered it, and you got a couple days to get it. So instead of just being like, oh, I'm going to wait until this alarm clock comes in, I didn't do that. Instead, I took my cell phone and I started plugging it in on my dresser back there. I plugged it in the dresser and set the alarm. So that way, when I woke up, the only way for me to turn it off is to get up, walk, and turn it off. Now that whole act of me getting out of bed, why go back to sleep after that? You're already up. You already walked to turn that sleep button off. You're going to stay up, and that's a way to help yourself with that if you have that issue. Some people just wake up right away, and that's fine too. But there's also a lot of other variables besides like not sleeping through the snooze button. But when we're trying to go to sleep too, scrolling through, Instagram and Facebook and social media and texting and watching YouTube videos. Maybe you're watching this while you're trying to go to sleep and trying to figure out how to improve your sleep. And getting away from that is going to let your brain rest, so that way you could go to sleep and you could rest. But if you're constantly with your phone next to you, every alert that comes on when you're trying to sleep, it might wake you up, and then you're going to grab your phone and possibly go on it and stay up longer or have trouble going back to sleep. So getting it away from you is going to do so much benefit to you. When we live, our body goes through circadian rhythm, and our circadian rhythm is just a cycle that our body goes through, and is basically a pattern when we go to sleep and when we wake up. Usually we do it at the same time, right? So when we have this pattern, our body goes through other cycles. Like when we wake up, our body is normally colder. So our body is normally colder, our blood pressure starts to spike a little bit later, and then our alertness starts to gain focus, a little bit later as well. As we start to wake up, our body's just going through the cycle, and our circadian cycle is part our sleep is part of our circadian cycle, and that's why we should take it very seriously. And I was always inspired by my father because he never used an alarm clock. I can't say that he never used it before in his life, because I'm sure he has. But recently, maybe since, maybe for like at least the past 8 years, like, he's always told me he never uses an alarm clock. He wakes up at the same time every day. Now, my dad always says, God wakes him up. And, I also believe that. I believe in God. But I also know that his body's just going through a pattern because he's used to doing that. He's staying in a consistent pattern of doing that. And that's why he doesn't need an alarm clock. And I don't think I really ever seen him have his phone next to him when he sleeps, which is the other good thing, the thing I'm making this video about. But I wanted to share this because we all know sleep's important. Some people are trying to get their sleep, in check and trying to make it better. And the one thing that I think is one big factor of why a lot of people are not getting enough sleep is cell phones. Cell phones are a big thing. That's one thing you could easily eliminate by putting it out of reach. No matter how far it is, you could put it at the corner of your room on the floor. But if you gotta wake up and walk to it and turn it off, it's gonna do wonders for you. And you could get your sleep fixed. Start by doing it. The only way to start anything is to start. You can start now. You can start right now today. There's no better time to start than now. And get your sleep fixed. I believe everybody should take their sleep seriously, especially if you're struggling with it and know you're struggling with it. Sleep is very important for various reasons that I described, and you could get better at doing it. It's going to take some time, but each little step that you take to perfecting it will help. And this is a very easy way to help fix it, and you could start doing it today. And I hope you start doing it today. Plug your phone in somewhere else and get a solid night's sleep. Till next time, guys. Peace.